Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's me, Nisi, aka Baby Girl Slaughter, back to do another reading. This one, I'm going to do a recap on what we've covered thus far and close out with book one or volume one of the Book of Wisdom from Harry B. Joseph. I'm going to hold it up. Shout out to Mr. Harry B. Joseph. He actually has several books out, and we've done a great job of covering over this material the past several months. So you'll have to go back through YouTube or over here on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the other platforms that I upload to, Rumble, all the stuff. And just check out the videos over the Book of Wisdom. This is what this book looks like. I'm going to hold it up so you can get a screenshot of it. All right. So the last few days, the last video that I covered, I went over, as a recap, we talked about the heart, the projection of fear versus love, how it affects your toroidal field. We also talked about mentalism and energy, mind, light, and matter. Okay. We talked about the inner self or mind equals line one, and line one equals the universal mind. Mental, when you break that word down, means men, which equals mind. Okay. Here in the center of our brain is the seat of the soul, or the temple, the kingdom of heaven, which is within you. The divine spark that we create, we have within us, is the creator of all. Right? We are co-creators of this reality, and to submit yourself to, for lack of a better term, government means to govern the mind. Those in the elites or those in control, the ones that work behind the shadows, know that in order to control the masses, they have to set up these laws and create this barrier, right? We're within the interior walls of the known lands in this great dome, right? There are more lands beyond the ice walls, beyond or past Antarctica. So the government, when you break it down, means to govern the mind. I also talked about the subconscious and the subconscious and the conscious mind, the difference between the two. The conscious mind is more considered to be the male aspect, whereas the subconscious mind is a divine feminine, right? I also talked about some symbolisms in the past about how words are frequencies, music is magic, Freemasonry symbolism. I'm not going to cover too much of that. I think that's self-evident. I would say if you're interested in this information, to please pick up the material. It's through the Revival of Wisdom. He has a platform over on Facebook, so if you just want to Google him, for Google Masters, Google him or look him up over on TikTok. If you don't have a TikTok, check him out on Instagram, check him out on YouTube, check him out on Facebook. He is in all the platforms. All right. He's on all the platforms. One thing I wanted to call out is when we look at the symbolism between the masculine and the feminine, it encompasses God. God is not male, and God is not just a male figure or a father figure, even though we've been conditioned to say that. God encompasses everything. The divine source, the creator of all, prime, whatever you want to call it, right? It encompasses both masculine and feminine. It encompasses both life and death. It creates and it can destroy. I mean, I'm just being simplistic, as much as simplistic as possible. Science proves that there is a creator of all. You look at quantum physics, right? I also talked about the human diet, veganism. If you look at veganism, when you intermix the words, it means saving me, right? It's just as my name means slaughter, which alludes to laughter. The truth is always hidden in plain sight. I also talked about the different brain waves, beta, alpha, theta, delta. Delta is the dream sleep or deep sleep or dreamless. Okay. Deeply meditative, bridge between consciousness, sleep, and subconscious mind is open, and it's imaginative, it's dreams, it's mind. That's the theta wave. I've always talked about the human energy field, about our toroidal field, the disease and the frequency, how the frequencies plays a factor in keeping us healthy or dis-ease or unhealthy. Okay. I'm not speaking anything for these fact checkers that have been all over my social media platforms. Go do the research yourself, okay? We all know where the fact checkers came from. It came from, starting from Hillary Clinton's cousin, okay? And then it just exponentially snowboarded from there. So you have a lot of fact checkers that are overseas, from Hindustan, that all, get online and go through social media platforms that are employed by these I call them agents. And I don't want to give that energy, but I'm just simply saying anything is researchable, right? What I speak on is truth, and it's hidden knowledge, it's occult knowledge, and it's time for the unveiling or the awakening. Okay, that's simply put. I talked about electromagnetism in nature and how it plays a role in our human energy field, emotion, which is energy in motion. I talked about the heart. I talked about the mind over matter. One thing I wanted to point out before I get into this last part is, where did I see this at? On what page was it? Because I wanted to bring this out to, to your attention. I was over on TikTok today and I was following, I got on there because I don't do TikTok that much because there's a lot of crazy people over there. I may post one or two things and I look up and I've got so many followers now. I'm like, where do these people come from? I'm barely on here, but I may go on there once or twice a week. I used to be on there nonstop. Couple of hours a day, just scrolling and looking at stuff. I can't do that anymore. I'm pulling away from all social media because I'm doing an internal walk, an internal journey within myself to create to the All Father. So I'm really limiting the content that I'm looking. Now, this week I did look at movies with one of my sons because he's over and we're hanging out. But during the middle of the week, I'm back on, researching documentaries and reading my books and meditating and staying in a positive mindset. I am trying to get out of that lower aspect or the sin state that I'm in. I'm trying to raise the frequency, and I'm attempting to, and I will achieve it. I mean, you're witnessing this on camera in real time right now, right? You're seeing the evolution of Nisi. You're seeing the evolution of me being a sentient one. I've been here many, many times. I'm an ancient one. I've been here over and over again. And each time that I leave and I come back, I have to start from ground zero because I'm not retaining that information because of the mindset or the mind wipe or the reset that happens when you come back, right? So I'm at a point where I want to grow and I want to ascend. I do not want to have to go over this anymore. If I choose to come back, I want to retain my memories. I want to retain all my faculties, right? But I'm not here to get a lot of views or a lot of followers. I've looked at my YouTube subscription. Shout out to all the new people that have joined me. I appreciate you. But I'm not here to sugarcoat stuff, and I'm not here to mislead anyone or, beat up on any particular group of people except the elites, those that are in control, that know the truth and know what's going on, the ones that keep us in this dome or in this mindset of enslavement, that propagate the indoctrination, right? I'm not here for all the views and for the attention. I'm here to share some information to a select few people. I'm not even going to say a group of people. It's just only a few people. Most of the people is going to go over their head. Let me slow motion that. Go over their head. It is. The information is out there. You just have to put it together. I am thankful that I have been surrounded by blissfully, I don't say blessings, I say blessings. I am thankful that the All Father has sent people in my path and in my life to help push me and to help motivate me and to keep me honest. I am not perfect. I fall off the wagon quite a bit. When I say fall off the wagon, I like sugary snacks. I eat stuff that I shouldn't eat, that I know I should be better. I go through a point of when I go through a fasting, which I did a week before last, and it was great. I felt great. And when I get back to the bad eating habits that I get, I start feeling sluggish. So this morning I am drinking my charcoal, which is a filtered lemon agave activated charcoal water. And then I do drink distilled water. I don't drink. I just now started drinking spring water. We are going to get a water filtration system for the house, but I've been just buying bottled water like everybody else. I don't cook with tap water. I have a Alexa Pure filter that I use for cooking, or either I buy the big things of spring water. But I don't drink regular tap water. Very, very little cook with it. But I do drink distilled water, but when you drink distilled water, it pulls the minerals out of your body. Shout out to Valerie because she was sending me something over on YouTube. It does pull minerals out of your body, but you have to be cognizant. I have trace minerals droppers from Best, I think it's called Best Labs or Best Process Labs, that I've been using for about 5 years, that I order from them. And so I re-mineralize my water with that, right? So, distilled water does help with parasites. Okay, it does pull some of the parasites out of your body. I have shown you guys a couple of parasite cleanses that I've taken. I've done 2 so far. One from Dr. Grouper, who has a office here in Houston. He's a well-renowned chiropractic doctor, and he's worldwide. He's traveled and he's been on videos and different platforms and things like that. He's well renowned and well respected in the community. And he has a center here in Houston where you can go in and purchase some of his products, or you can order it on Amazon or on his website. I've shared that fast, that parasite cleanse. And then I've also shared another one that I found over on TikTok that I did with the castor oil and the cloves. Okay. So I've done both, right? So I just want, to share this a little bit of information with you guys. But one thing I want to talk about is the diet, right? And I hate to say diet, but it's the way you consume things, right? Alkaline foods versus acidic foods. If you're on a spiritual journey, you want to raise your vibration, you want to change internally who you are, it has to start with what you put in your mouth. That's the number one thing that you can control as a sentient being, okay? I don't want to use the word human because human alludes to a hue of a man, right? There are some of us that walk around that look human that aren't. Some of us that have an oversoul and an inner soul energy source. Some of us don't. I'm just speaking facts. So you want to be cognizant of what you put in your mouth, right? Because that's the number thing. Let thy food be thy medicine. If you are fighting a disease like cancer, diabetes, high blood pressure, any type of Crohn's disease, any type of metabolic thing going on, or if you are having I can't think of it, like lupus and MS, your diet plays a factor. Yeah, when you go into a medical practice, a medical doctor, they're going to treat you based on what they've been taught because they're practicing medicine. And that's great, okay? But for every pill that they prescribe you, there is a natural alternative to that, right? Anyone who's going through cancer, because I've lost loved ones, many loved ones to cancer, and 2 of my sisters have had cancer, right? They caught it in time. My point is, anyone who is experiencing cancer, number one thing you need to understand is that you need to change your water source. You cannot drink tap water anymore. You cannot cook with tap water anymore. So hear me when I say anyone who's experiencing breast cancer, any type of brain cancer, stomach cancer, pancreatic, lung, whatever you're going through, the number one thing that your oncologist should have told you was that you need to stop drinking the tap water, right? More importantly, you need to stop using regular deodorant, which is aluminum-based deodorants. You got to get off of that. You got to do the natural stuff, or you can do lime juice, or you can do, I use Tom's and Hello. Those are the brands that I use as far as deodorants. When 2 of my sisters got cancer, that was a wake-up call to me, right? I'm just saying. And my father passed away. Our father passed away with cancer, and he fought it 3 times. I had several uncles that had cancer, aunties, cousins. I mean, it's in our family. Everybody is born with that mutated gene, right? It's just whether it turns on or not. I'm just saying. You can do your research. No conspiracy. No fact checking over here. You can go do your research. I shared a video over on Facebook from an oncologist here in Houston that was talking about the Kangen water system. That's the one I'm pointing to, right? The whole house system, is probably a little cheaper, but I really think Kangen water is much better than a whole house system. So I'm still kind of kicking around that and getting quotes on that stuff. But as we do it, I will share that information with you guys and let you know how I feel about the system, right? You have to change your water system, and you definitely have to change your diet. Sugars feed cancer. All right. I've lost too many people. I've been in hospice with people, loved ones. What do they do when you go in hospice? They give you Jello. That's to speed up the cancer. I'm just simply saying it feeds the cancer. Go do your research. I think it's James Destroys Disease. He had cancer and he healed himself from it. All right. Increase your apricot seeds. Apricot seeds are a really valuable thing. There are a lot of alternative treatments. I know that there's a couple people that are friends of mine on Facebook, I'm not going to name any names, that have cancer. They're going through cancer treatments, right? Family member too, going through cancer treatments. You have to understand that you are your best advocate. And if you're going through chemo, it's more or less like you are going to have to survive the chemo, right? It's not, they say beating the cancer. You have to survive the treatments that you're taking. There are alternative therapies that can assist you, right? Along with the chemo, and or instead of doing chemo, there's other things that you can do. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not a health physician. You have to be your own best advocate for your health. I'm just simply saying to you, when you realize you have these things, okay, you need to change your diet and you have to change your water. Most definitely have to change your water. That's the number one thing that any physician will tell you. You have to increase more of the healthy water for you. Living water that has a higher vibration and frequency, right? H2O water, hydrogen infused water, is probably the best defense that you can get if you're suffering from cancer or any kind of ailment. Look it up, do your research. Okay, that's my point. That's what I wanted to bring home on this video. One thing I want to read to the back of this book, and we're going to get into sex. All right, Sacred Energy Exchange. The Message. Harry B. Joseph says this. And again, this is not for everybody. It's only a select group of people. Hear me when I speak these words that are eloquently wrote by someone else, eloquently written by someone else. It says, "Dear reader, heed my words of wisdom, O radiant soul. You are not solely earthly origin. Though earthly in essence, within the chambers of your body lies an infinite cosmic of light, spark of light. Do not confuse yourself with the darkness of the physical form. Your true light radiates through the shadows of the body. Pose the question, if this is my body, then who am I? Seek and you shall discover. You were here before you came into this existence. You existed before you had this vessel, this body, this temple, this avatar. You've had many. Some of us are newly formed in this ethereal world. And you haven't had as many life cycles as some of us who have. So what I'm simply saying to you is that you existed before you came into this world, into this void. You just don't remember any of the information that you had previously. And so when you're born into this fleshly avatar, okay, you are then programmed. You're put on filters. You're indoctrinated based on your parents, your environment, education, religion, and the indoctrination that you receive. That's why you have some people who are highly successful and some people who are, barely making it, or living under a bridge, or have given up completely, have lost their mind, have suffered from PTSD, mental health, on the spectrum. There are all different types of people, but it's how you are reared or how you come into the existence, the foundation that you have. So you have to seek and ask the question, who am I? And you will discover that. Ask and you shall receive, but be careful when you ask for a thing, because you will receive the answer and you may not like it, right? Do not identify yourself with the body, O light soul. If you do, then your mind will never be free. Man is mind, and without the mind, creation would cease to exist. Man is mind, and without mind, creation would cease to exist. You willingly submit to those in positions of power. You willingly submit to those in positions of power, surrendering to the confines of the physical form and acknowledging the authority of a birth certificate. This submission stems from a lack of comprehension regarding your true nature, an eternal being of light. Birth certificates would lose their grip if we identified ourselves with the spirit rather than the earthly body. Did you get what I just said? Did you get what I just said? When you come into this existence, we are all given a birth certificate. Our parents, just like I did when I had my 3 sons, birthed 3 children into this world, okay? I registered them with the system and gave them a birth certificate. And in the hospital, they take the feet or your print of your foot and they stamp it on the certificate. That's when you're incorporated, okay? I'm just going to say it. So it says, you willingly submit to those in positions of power, surrendering to the confines of the physical form and acknowledging the authority of a birth certificate. This submission stems from a lack of comprehension regarding your nature as an eternal being of light. Birth certificates will lose their grip if we identified ourselves with the spirit rather than the earthly body. Earth has transformed into a realm that incarnates your mind and soul with your body. Like I said, you have 3 bodies, right? We talked about this. Merkabah. All right. You have 3 bodies. So it says, this realm that you incarnate into, your mind and soul with your body, serving as a prison cell that casts off the constraints of the body, O luminous soul, and embark on a journey to transcendental realms among the stars. We are star dust. We are rock stars, monstars, fraud stars. I'm just saying, this is where you get these words from, because we truly are beings of light, right? This is a form that you identify with and you see me because these are 2 light receptors. Your brain is a computer. It has a Rolodex that you can retrieve information from. Got to know what you are, and you got to understand what this world is for the practical person, all right? And it says, knowledge embodies wisdom, and wisdom wields power. Strive to acquire and preserve it for the ages that follow. Nurture your mind with positivity, love, and wisdom. You must speak to yourself in a positive manner. That is why you have to do affirmations. I would highly encourage you to do that. Stand in the mirror and speak to yourself in loving words. When you drink a bottle of water, which I'm going to do right now, what do? Which most people would find that highly disturbing. I speak into the water and say, I love you. I appreciate you. You hydrate my soul, you hydrate my body, and you provide me with nourishment that I need, okay? That's what I say to my water. I love you, water. Thank you for being who you are. When you go into a camping expedition or you go out into nature and you see a stagnant body of water or a pond, typically you see algae in it, right? You may see some fish, bugs, and things like that. But if it's green, you know not to get in that water. You know not to drink it, is what I'm saying. If the water is free flowing and moving, you know it's a stream. And if it's clear, yeah, you can have a light straw and you can test it. But naturally, back in the day when people did this, they would drink from a moving stream because they know that the water is moving, it's energy. If it's stagnant, it's not good for you, right? Same purpose with water. You need to speak it into existence, right? There's been experiments about that. All you got to do is go research it. So it says, knowledge embodies wisdom, and wisdom yields power. Strive to acquire and preserve it for the ages to follow, and nurture your mind with positivity, love, and wisdom, allowing love to be the alpha and the omega of your heart. Once you embrace this, O radiant soul, you will eternally bathe in splendid effects of your perfect causes. When humanity's mastering the skill of deciphering symbols and uncovering the authentic meanings behind the words and terms, we will begin to penetrate the veil that has obscured the understanding of the masses for decades. Spells. Words are spells. Everyone is under a spell and they don't understand that. And most of you will say, oh, that's hogwash, that's poppycock. But it's the truth. When you go down that rabbit hole and you start to dive into some of the so-called, quote unquote, I hate that CIA termed dubbed word conspiracy, but when you start to research certain topics and certain things, you see there's an alternate side of things. And then you have to wonder why it's suppressed. I'm just simply saying, if it's not about making $1 for someone, they're not going to push it. If it's truth, they're afraid of the truth. They don't want us to wake up, because if we wake up, they no longer control us, right? They no longer control the masses. The greatest lie ever told was that you have to look outside yourself, but the creator of all lives within you. You carry the spark, you carry the light, and you have a direct connection with source that no man has to pray over you, and you have to reverence anyone other than the true creator of all, which lives within you, and you are part of the creation. How simple is that? It's so plain a child could understand that what you have inside of you is flawless, is perfect. You just have to reconnect with that. And we've lost the way. We have lost the direction because we're outside ourselves, being distracted and listening to news, listening to corporations, buy me, eat me, drink this, wear this, drive this. You need this vacation. You need this home. You need to do this. You need to stay active. You need to do this, that, and the other. But the one thing you're not doing is being still, going within yourself, going into a closet, sitting on the floor, shutting the door, putting a towel, and sitting in silence and darkness and just being with the one true infinite source, the creator of all. This is how you begin to raise your vibration, is by going within and meditating, sitting in silence, stilling the mind, focusing on the creator. You don't have to hoop and holler and put on a show, buy brand new clothes, drive the latest car, go into these buildings, drop down racks to take care of somebody else's bills. You don't have to do that. If you want to do that, then that's your choice. It can be useful for community. But at the end of the day, you have to understand that the kingdom of heaven is within you. It never left. You just were not shown that because they want to keep you deaf, dumb, blind, and stupid. If you're on this journey, then you will understand what I'm saying. Only a few of you will get what I'm saying. I'm not here for everybody. I'm not here for every single person. I'm here for a select few, the select few that will understand what I'm saying. And you know this to be true. It says, your birth certificate does not define you. It represents the corporation associated with you by willingly identifying yourself with a legal name, which is also your corporation's name. Your subject, yourself, you subject yourself to the authority of the corporation. Your name written in full capital letters is not your legal name. Your name written in full capital letters is not your legal name. It is a designation of the corporation. That is why when you get your bills, your name is in all caps. Just look at it. Go get a bill and go look at it. Your name is in all caps. When your physical body ceases to function, it is referred to as a corpse, emphasizing the recognition that you, as an individual, are connected to the corporation because you're a corpse and you're a member of the corporation. You got a social security card and a birth certificate. You're a corporation. You're a corporate citizen. Don't care how you feel. It's the truth. The United States, United Kingdom, and similar entities are indeed corporations. They are privately owned corporations, like the Federal Reserve is not a part of the government. It is a privately owned corporation. The Fed, go look it up. I still have a video to do over that. They are privately owned corporations. The term president is employed within a business, as every company, bank, and business has a president. The president is not solely the leader of America. Rather, they hold the position as the head of the privately owned corporation known as the United States. I don't care how you feel. This is facts. And he's speaking it, and I'm explaining it to you on camera. You are an electromagnetic battery. This is why I talk about it's consuming things to help charge your battery, to keep your body in prime optimal performance. Lack of or void of dis-ease of the body, right? Things that'll lower your vibration, lower the charge, or things that'll raise the vibration and raise the charge. Consuming something that God created, the creator of all, put in place for us to eat, that is what you should be consuming, not what man creates. Because what man creates will cause nothing but pain, chaos, and disease. And that's why we have people walking around here like they done lost their daggone mind. Because they have. They have. There are too many minds going on up in here. There are. You have to sit in silence and really understand what I'm saying and take this in and listen to this again as many times as it takes for you to understand this stuff. You already know this stuff, most of you. It's just that you ain't tapped into it because you're too busy doing shit that doesn't matter. That really is not important. Will it matter a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now? Will it really matter when it comes time when you're on your deathbed? What's really going to matter is your direct connection with Source and the relationships with your family and your close friends. That's what's going to matter in the end. Truly, I say. So it says every company, bank, and business has a president. The president is not the sole leader of America. Rather, they hold the position as the head of a privately owned corporation known as the United States. You are an electromagnetic battery, which is why legal proceedings charge you. Court proceedings charge you. You need to learn legalese. You are an electromagnetic battery, which is why legal proceedings charge you. Once you undergo the process of being charged, you find yourself confined in a prison cell, essentially a cell resembling a battery cell. And this is what this environment is. The ring environment that we live in, the dome within the ice walls, is a prison cell. When you come into these bodies, you are in a prison, and you have to understand how to work inside the prison, how to use the system in your favor, right? We're taught that we need to go through these levels of education from kindergarten to first grade, all the way up through high school and then to college, right? To get these degrees, you go through levels or degrees, like Masons have 33 degrees of masonry, right? You have to go through levels of degrees or indoctrination so you can understand and recall the information. That's a trap. That's a setup. That's the bag. That's the game. If you're focused on the physical self and the physical existence of the things that the eyes, these two receptors see, you won't get to where you need to be spiritually. And I will argue and debate with anybody about that. You cannot have two masters. It's either Mammon or the creator of all. You have to choose. You have to choose. Many of us walk up straight. We walk on that line on that world trying to do both. You can't. You have to make a decision. I'm 55 years old. I may not look like it, but I am. And I'm damn near pushing 60. Knock on wood. I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I've learned this information again. And this time I'm going to master it and move on, right? When it's time for my energy to leave this vessel, know this. Know who anybody hears this and sees this. Know that we all got to go through that journey. And your life should be a reflection of what you're doing right now to better you as an individual, to reconnect with the creator of all. And more importantly, the journey that leads after you exit this temple, this body. Where do you go after that? There's another side that we can't see with our own eyes, but we can tap into it. Yeah, we can. All right. Nobody wants to have that conversation, but you can. All right. Some things go bump in the night and some things are there. The ancestors are there. There's a world that we don't see that was around us, that sees us and watches us and monitors us. And I'm not talking about those goofies behind the cameras watching the agents. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else that sees us, that knows us, that lives within us, that knows us better than we know ourselves. Like, we need to reconnect with that, right? We need to reconnect with the being that's in the void, because this is like a desolate temple. We don't even go there anymore. We use less than 10% of our brain. Subconscious mind is the feminine part. The conscious mind is the male part, right? You all need to know these things. Let's talk about the sacred energy exchange or sex. The letter S is representative of the serpent, a symbol often associated with Kundalini, all right, and sexual energy. This connection is reflected in the words like SEX, where the letter S serves as a symbolic link to the serpent and the profound energies associated with Kundalini and sexuality. Serpents make a similar noise to the pronunciation of the letter S. Serpents, indeed, produce a hissing sound that bears a resemblance to the pronunciation of the word S. This auditory connection may further contribute to the symbolic association between serpents and the letter S, reinforcing the link between the serpent as a symbol of Kundalini or sexual energy. The symbolism of the letter E takes on a unique perspective when considered as a visual reflection of the number 3. Mirrored, the E resembles the numerical 3, a representation often associated with the Trinity of creation. In this interpretation, the visual symmetry between the E and the 3 creates a symbolic link to the concept of a triad, invoking notions of creation, harmony within the Trinity of existence. X marks the female and male combining together. Female and male combining together. It's not two females. It's not two men. It's a male and female energy. And I'm not trying to offend anyone because I love all peoples. Okay. But you must understand this information. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So the letter SEX equals 48. And you will take the S is 19. The E is 5. The X is 24. It's 48. Its ordinal is one word and it's 3 letters, which means father plus mother equals child. 4 plus 8 equals 12. 1 plus 2 equals 3. Father, mother equals child. Sex has 3 letters symbolizing the 3 aspects of creation. A divine feminine and a divine masculine. Fire and water. All right. The divine feminine represents nurturing, creative, feeling, wisdom, connected, awareness, receptive. And often you will see unbalanced, victimized, selfish, codependent, manipulative, insecure, jealousy, and petty. That's the lower aspect that's in your sin state. All right. The divine masculine is logical. It's focused, it's resilient, it's disciplined, it's responsible, it's analytical, and it's courageous. The flip side of the unbalanced sign to that is disruptive, controlling, abusive, inconsistent, invalidating, criticizing, and aggressive. That's your lower sin state. That's the divine masculine. That's the divine feminine. When it's in balance, it's a sacred energy exchange. We have a lot of people walking around here that are out of balance. I've said that many times. I don't have to say it. Y'all already know this information. It's up here. Recall the Rolodex. Come close, come close. Listen to this. The divine masculine is symbolized by the element of fire. Characterized by its robust force and proactive nature, it represents a powerful and action-oriented energy. On the other hand, the divine feminine is often associated with the water element, embodying qualities of tranquility, nurturing, and care. Water symbolizes a restful and compassionate energy within this time frame or this framework. Water is a medium exchange. It is the birth, okay? This is why when you say you go down the watery grave of baptism and you do as Christ Yeshua did in the river. He was baptized. I believe it was the river of Jordan by John, right? If I'm remembering correctly. Might not be Jordan. I'm trying to recall. But he was baptized in the watery grave of baptism. And it does not mean dunking your head in a tub of water or your body in water. It means something completely different, as I've talked about this. Outforce is the shape of the male phallus, and the inrest is the shape of the Y, or the feminine genitalia. All right. And both the sacred energy exchange creates a toroidal field among both people. You carry that energy with you. Okay. When you do the sacred exchange with a person and you've been with a person, you've been married to a person for years, number of years, right? I remember my Uncle Chuck and my Aunt Mabel being married a number of years. Okay. I remember my aunt Alberta, and I remember Uncle George being married a number of years. My grandparents, people in my life that hold significant meaning. I remember them being married for a number of years. And a lot of people go through divorce, right? I've been divorced. Um, I've gotten remarried. I'm just simply saying, you have to understand when you pick a partner or you meet someone that you want to share your life with, and you want to go into a contract with this person, a legal contract, which means you're applying to the corporation for a marriage license, right? That's why everything's about money, baby. Tell you, they got it on lock, this bag down here. When you come into these bodies, you got to be as a whole educational system that you got to unlearn, because you don't learn the bullshit to keep you indoctrinated. But once you wake up, you start to see something ain't right, and you start scratching the surface like a little sore. You scratch the scab and you peel the scab back, then boom, there's the blood, there's the life force, there's the energy. You see what's going on. My point is, when you lay down with a person, you exchange energy with that person. So if that person has slept with crazy ass people, or people who are controlling, are broken, who have trauma, they're taking on that trauma and then they're passing it to you. Yeah, I know how it sounds, but it's 100% true fact. You have a lot of people out there who are broken. Hurt people hurt people. And you have to heal yourself. And you meet a lot of people who say, oh, I'm working on myself. I don't need no man. I don't need no female. I'm working on myself. But you're not really working on yourself. You're just feeding the beast. You're lying to yourself. You're bullshitting yourself. And you're trying to bullshit somebody else. When really and truly the work comes within you and you don't need to talk about it. You just need to do it. I'm just simply saying. We have to understand that we have been lied to, and there's an alternate reality. There's an alternate version of events that have not been widely discussed, and there are topics that people will not even touch. Right? Those are the things that are curious to me, and I'm going to talk about those things that most people won't even talk about. They won't even see, or if they see it, they'll gloss right over it, and they'll never understand what they're actually reading. And I'm just simply telling you. When you observe the correlation between the two toroidal fields, like if a person is having a sacred energy exchange and the reproductive organs of both of the genders, the male reproductive system associated with the red shift, which I'm going to show you on screen here in a second, and embodies an explosive and penetrating force emerging from the counter space, accumulating into the manifestation of the male organ, phallus. This organ symbolizes the active force of magnetism going up. And then as the female toroidal field circles, it encompasses that. Conversely, the blue shift in the electromagnetic field signifies a phase where energy, having lost its pressure and force, magnetically seeks rest and returns to the counter space. The female reproductive system, particularly the vagina, right, is an internal body organ or part that mirrors the motion of the blue shift energy, reflecting the tendency to seek rest and return to a state of equilibrium. So opposites attract, and opposites are used in this discourse, right? So when you're looking at the toroidal fields and the sacred energy exchange, most people don't even know that you don't have to physically penetrate someone to have sex with them. All right. I'm not even going to discuss that. Not right now. Maybe I'll do some videos over that later. But there is a way for you to exchange energy and to be intimate with someone without releasing bodily fluids. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. And that comes with a level of experience, and that comes with time. And that's something that the average person, I will say, like 85% of the population won't even understand what I'm saying. There'll be a small percentage of people, maybe 15%, that will get it, right? And so you've got to know when you are dealing with people and you're out there dating, when you're out there seeing people. A lot of people will be promiscuous and they will sleep around and they will have multiple partners. And basically, not only are you physically exchanging fluids with the person, you're more importantly exchanging energetic energy. And that's the discourse with these people walking around here broken. My sons are in the age group of 35 to 28. All right. There's 5 of them that I have. And all of them at different points and periods of life, in their life, when we discourse and we talk with each other, they will say nowadays, Mom, you're an old head. You're old school. Women are not like you now. The people out here that are in these streets and are about their life or out there are not like the women that used to be of the day, of old days, of olden times. You're ancient. And I'm like, oh, damn. They tell me that all the time, Mama, you're a dying breed. But it's not even there. It's just the point when you get to a certain point of understanding and elevation. I've not always been a perfect person. I'm not a perfect person at all. I ain't even gonna sit up and lie to you on camera. I have my problems. I have my issues, just like everybody else. But work in progress across my forehead. I am being better than I was yesterday. And that's the point. Every day that you have life or breath in your body, you should strive to be better than you were the day before, right? And I know sometimes I go over y'all head with information, but I'm simply saying to you, if it resonates with you, seek the truth within yourself and use your own discernment. Anything that I'm saying, everything that I've ever said, go research it or not. Because I'm not here for everybody. I'm only here for a select few. And I'm going to keep saying that until the day that I exit this temple. So, in saying that, I want to go over the seven universal laws, and we're going to do this quick. Law of vibration. If you didn't know, the law of vibration is a principle that states that everything in the universe is a constant state of motion and vibration. The law posts that at the core of all matter and energy, there exists a vibrational frequency that determines its nature and characteristics. In essence, it suggests that even seemingly solid objects are comprised of atoms and particles in perpetual motion. And they are. We just can't see it because we're on a limited light spectrum in these avatar bodies. If we're out of the body, then we will be able to pick that up, right? Emitting energy waves at specific frequencies. This concept extends beyond the physical realm and finds application in various aspects of life, including the realm of spirituality and consciousness. The law of vibration underscores the interconnectedness of all things and plays a crucial role in the manifestation of one's thoughts and desires. Understanding and harnessing the law can empower individuals to align themselves with the vibrational frequencies that resonate with their intentions and goals. That's why I say when you want to become successful, you speak it into existence. If you want to become, if this is your goal, to become wealthy, you have to speak it into existence. All starts in the mind. All is thought. All is vibration. All is mind. You must understand if you're speaking that negative speak to yourself, you're going to keep yourself at a certain vibration. Yeah, some people are born with money and wealth and privilege, but there are those of us who work hard and put it into motion. But you must see it before you can speak it into existence. Next law is law of correspondence. The law of correspondence is a key principle. It posts that there is a corresponding or connecting between different levels of existence, such as the physical, etheric, astral, and mental planes. The law suggests that what happens in one level of reality is mirrored or reflected in another. This is where we get the term as above, so below. In simpler terms, it implies that the patterns, experiences, and events in our physical world can often be understood and explained by looking at the etheric and astral and mental dimensions. Next law is a law of mentalism. The all is mind. The universe is mental. It asserts that the mind is the fundamental reality and everything that exists in the universe is a mental creation or manifestation of the one mind of God, source, prime, creator of all. In simpler terms, this law suggests that the thoughts and consciousness of individuals play a central role in shaping their reality. It emphasizes the power of the mind to create influence and shape the world above us, essentially. The law of mentalism highlights the idea that our thoughts and beliefs have profound impact on our experiences and the circumstances we encounter. This is why it's important to create positive thinking patterns as thoughts affect our reality. Now, I'm going to back up once because I remember that I was supposed to show you the sacred energy exchange and the chakras function in our relationships. All right. So I'm going to show you what this is in the toroidal field right here. So this is the male phallus, the female genitalia, and this is the sacred energy exchange, the thrusting going up and inside and the circumference and the balance that it creates between two people. Okay. That is the symbology or the mentalism behind it. X marks the spot, which is the female and the male coming together, the sacred energy exchange. And I'm going to show you this so you can take a picture of it. So this is the female and this is the male, the X coming together. These are the symbologies behind it. The snake, which represents the Kundalini. And this is what sex really means. The sacred energy exchange between a man and a woman, a male and a female, which creates male, female, child, right? You can't have one without the other. Though these things that walk around that look like human, that are not human, will, in fact, they've accomplished this already in labs, deep underground bases, and up here on the surface, where they have genetically created and cloned people. And they've been doing this for thousands of years before the fall of Tartary. This has been going on for thousands of years, you guys. All right. This is nothing new. Now, the chakras, before I get back to the 7 laws, I'm sorry, I'm skipping around. I forgot something. Sex is a sacred ritual. Sex is an exchange of energy and DNA. DNA holds all the information about that person, including the tremors, the traumas, and the mental problems, and everything about that person. Everyone you've ever kissed or had sex with has exchanged DNA with this, and it will affect you in some way or shape in another as you are downloading all the person's information into your DNA. And that's my point. Demonic entities that may feed off that person can also be transferred onto you. And this is why when you drink or you have drugs, you exchange drinks or drugs with people in your partying. That is why the liquor stores are called spirits, because there are entities walking around that will attach themselves to you. Sometimes if you have back problems, you've got an entity attached to you. Yeah, I know how that sounds. There's no fact checking. You can go look that shit up. It's true. In the paranormal realm, in the paranormal world, done studies on that. I'm simply telling you that there's things that nobody talks about. Your grandmama used to talk about in the day and you thought she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I guess I'm that grandma now, but I got plenty of sense. Demonic entities that may feed off that person can also transfer onto you. Demonic entities normally feed off sexual addicted people, as sexual energy is a very powerful force that they can feed off of. This is why the porn industry is billions or trillions of dollars a year. People are just whacking off their jizz and giving away their energy and their power and their Christ oil, their CSF fluid, which is a sacred fluid that should be cherished. I'm telling you. Can't make this up. If you do not believe in spirits, then you should learn how to astral travel and see them for yourself. All right. Playing out sex creates a very high vibration and can be used to raise the Kundalini energy with the right person from the base of your spine to the third eye. All right. I ain't even going to get into the fact of if you're having sex with your significant other, male and female, how you can raise the vibration of each other. And while you are having sex and you have this focal point in your mind, both of you have the same focal point within your mind and you're concentrating on it and you both speak it into existence, it'll actually come true faster with 2 people. That's all I'm going to say. That's over your head. That's over your head. This is called white tantra sex. The sex is a non-ejectory sex where you raise the orgasm or up the spine to the head region and have an eternal orgasm, activating the pineal gland. This is a very powerful way for both male and females to raise their state of consciousness. I'll give you a video on that later on. All right. Chakras in the relationship. I'm going to just hold this up and just show this and y'all can screenshot this. 5 simple ways to turn regular sex into tantra sex. Do it really quick. Intention, eye connection, heart connection, breath connection, and energy activation. All right, I'm going to show you this, and then we're going to get back to the 7 laws. Sorry, I skipped around. So you can screenshot that. Okay? All right. I apologize, y'all. I only had 1 cup of mushroom coffee today. I normally have 2. Okay. I stopped at law of mentalism. So I talked about the law of vibration. I talked about the law of correspondence. I talked about the law of mentalism. Now we're going to knock out the law of polarity. The law of polarity asserts that everything in the universe has an opposite. In other words, there are dualities or pairs of opposites in existence. The sun and the moon. All right. Male and female. negative and positive, yin and yang. All right. The sun that we see in the sky and the black sun that we don't see. All right. I'm just saying there's always pairs. All right. And it says, such as light and darkness, hot and cold, love and hate, and so on. This law suggests that these polarities are interconnected and are interdependent, and they help define and give meaning to each other. It also highlights that within any situation or experience, there is a potential for positive and negative aspects, all right? Understanding the law of polarity can lead to greater balance, acceptance, and perspective in life, as it reminds us that opportunities for growth and transformation often accompany challenges and difficulties. Next law is the law of gender. The law posts that there is a gender of duality to everything in the universe, not just in terms of male and female, but also in the terms of masculine and feminine energies or principles. These gender aspects are not limited to physical characteristics, but apply to qualities, traits, and energies associated with each gender. The law suggests that these gender exchanges, or these gender energies, exist within all individuals, and a balance between them is necessary for personal and spiritual growth. Understanding and harmonizing the masculine and feminine aspects within oneself can lead to greater balance, creativity, and wholeness. And outwardly, the why this world is running amok in certain countries, all right, I'm not going to pinpoint any names. You have a lot of male energy going on there with a lot of male control, a lot of male constraint, and they subjugate their female counterparts to covering themselves up and walking behind the men. Instead of walking with them, right, and embracing them, they do the opposite. All right. I'm not going to throw shade on any one nation or any religion or anything like that. You simply have to go within and search yourself and use your own discernment at what resonates with you. I'm just simply saying there's a lack of feminine energy in certain aspects, and there's more masculine energy. When the reverse roles, there's a lot more feminine energy in certain countries, and there's not enough male masculinity. Just because you are a man does not mean you are masculine. I miss the days where men were freaking men. All right? That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So, these traits applies to qualities and energies associated with each gender, all right? This law suggests that gender energies exist within all individuals, and there has to be a balance between the two. It'll be a more well-rounded individual, all right? That's the law of gender. The next one is the law of cause and effect, which is one of my favorites. It states that every event or phenomenon has a cause, and every cause produces an effect. In other words, there is a relationship between actions or events where one lane leads to or influences another. It's the butterfly effect. This principle shows how the world works, as it suggests that nothing happens by chance. Nothing happens by chance. So if you're watching this video, it's meant for you to watch it. All right. And that there are reasons behind every outcome, every action, every equal and opposite has a reaction. The last and final law, the law of rhythm. The law of rhythm suggests that everything in the universe follows a natural pattern or cycle or rhythm. Everything is cyclical in this dome, I'm trying to tell y'all. These rhythms can be observed in various aspects of life, including nature, human behavior, and the cosmos. Okay. The law of rhythm implies that there are ups and downs, cycles of growth and decay, and periods of expansion and contraction in all things. Everything is rhythm because it's a light wave universe, right? All right. And that's all I have for you guys. We have finished this wonderful, magnificent book. All right. The only thing that I did not cover or go into a great depth on is the Masons. Okay. The symbolisms behind the Freemasons and what that represents. I did talk about the sacred energy exchange and what sexual energy is. And I'm just going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. Our vital life force and energy responsible for life creation constitutes a force that not only initiates and shapes life, but also sustains it. Sexual energy serves as a life-giving force that breathes vitality into all living beings on a physical level. Throughout your lifespan, the energy not only gives rise to life, but also consistently nurtures and supports. It's the essence it grants your life at the moment of birth, yet it influences, extends from beyond, continuously renewing and regenerating your cells. Okay? The essence of sexual energy lies in both creation and creativity, and the fundamentally origin of each individual is rooted in the realm of sex. As we all emerge from it, our existence is intricately tied to sexual energy, which acts as the primary source of life creation. Without this vital force, life would lack the impetus or motion and driving energy required for continuous manifestation. Emotion is energy. The most potent among all human emotions is associated with sexuality. Wars have been started between countries because of women and men, fighting over women. Just gonna say, when you look at some aspects, and I'm not putting myself on a pedestal, I'm not putting the female, the female or divine feminine energy on a pedestal, but I'm simply saying to you that there have been many gang fights, shootings, wars, fight among men because of women. And you can't make this up. I mean, it's not always about a woman, but 99.999% somewhere along the way, if you go back in history and you look at some things, it was always about the woman. Or practically half of it was about women. And I'm not putting us on a pedestal. I'm just simply saying that emotions play a factor in this, and your eyes play a factor in this. Perception is everything, right? And it says the essence of sexual energy lies in both creation and creativity. The fundamental origin of each individual is rooted in the realm of sex, and we all emerge from it. Our existence is intrinsically tied to sexual energy, which acts as the primary source of life creation. Without the vital force, life would lack impetus and motion and driving energy required for continuous manifestation. The most potent among all human emotions is the one associated with sexuality. While there exist other mental stimulants, none of them individually or collectively can match the compelling force of sexual desire. A mental stimulant refers to any influence that can either temporarily or permanently elevate the frequency of the thought vibration. That's what that means. So the yearning for sexual expression stands as one of the most robust human emotions when this desire is redirected towards activities beyond mere physical actions, such as intellectual or creativity pursuits. It possesses the potential to propel an individual to a genius level. In simpler terms, channeling this potent energy into our realms of life may result in extraordinary achievements and heightened capabilities. Okay, exercising restraint from succumbing to these desires not only requires mental strength, all right, but also manifests a discipline across all facets of your life. The energy preserved from restraint can be transmuted into critical thinking, creativity, physical inertia, and most notably activating the kundalini and stimulate the pineal gland, which is what we want, because this once was a huge vestige in our temple, but now they've shrunk and it looks like a little popcorn. We have millions of magnetite crystals that vibrate and resonate at frequency. All right. And I mean, this is stuff that everyone should know. All right. Pornhub logo features an orange hue symbolizing the sacral chakra associated with our sexual energy. And look at this. And it's right in the front. Look at that. You see that? Pornhub. I'm telling you. They use all this stuff against us. How to transmute sexual energy. And it talks about tantric edging, observing non-judgmentally, female and male creation when the two become one. So it says, engage in the practice of allowing any feelings that surface within you to emerge freely and to refrain from passing judgment. Instead, adopt the role of a neutral observer. We are observers, and that's why we need to act accordingly, but we don't. Okay. Recognize these feelings as natural occurrences and simply observe what they reveal about yourself. Avoid categorizing them explicitly as sexual energy. Instead, approach them as sensations, allowing a more open and non-judgmental exploration. All right. But I would just simply say this, and I'm not going to go into a whole nother video. This video is long and I want to cut it. I'm just simply saying you need to exercise restraint and you need to understand what the science of sacred secretion represents. It's our natural born sentient right. All right. I no longer call myself a human. I'm a sentient being, and that's just what you are. But you have to get to that state or elevated consciousness to understand that, right? Most people won't understand anything that I'm about to say, but I'm just going to break it down to this and I'm going to wrap this video up. Fire, air, spirit, earth, water represents in our body, represents throughout. We have 5 points of existence. A perfected man. 10 is a perfected man. Adam, 1 + 4 + 1 + 4 is 10. Adam, A is 1, D is 4, A is 1, M is 4. 10. 10 is a perfected man, manifested presence, individual, which gives breath of life or sensate, being, has 5 senses, 5 elements. 10 is the perfect creation. And we embark, or we have 10 within our bodies, and we are the perfected 10 physically in this realm. And most people don't understand that. 0 equals the cosmic egg that contains all attributes of the creator of all, or what we call God. Okay. Allah, whatever you entitle this consciousness, this energy, this awareness. All right. It is also a picture of a two-sided mirror that reflects the original thought from the spirit side into the form of the material side. The woman has a physical egg, which all physical life has to go into in order to experience this life. A womb, W-O-M, 1 = 1 is the beginning and the end of all things. It has no beginning or end. All that exists is one as it becomes from the one source. We all come from the source. We are all interconnected, whether you agree, whether you feel a certain way, whether you have this understanding or not. We're all one. 1 is a straight line, and it's the first principle in geometry. It has a length, but no breadth. It represents unity. 1 was the first, and from all things were made. 1 is limited and unlimited. 1 is limited to itself and unlimited in other numbers. As it's the binary code, 2 makes 2. 5, it makes 5. 1 is the line between the heaven and earth, the creative power, and the first cause touching the earth plane in English. There is no other word that totals 1, and it's an A. Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. Okay? Air, spirit, water, earth. It's on our hands. It's on our feet. It's within our toroidal field. We encompass 3 bodies. We are an electric battery. We are electric appliances, and we have to tune our batteries to a frequency that you can align with the creator of all, and you can have that direct connection with source. There is no other way. The kingdom of heaven is within. It is not without. It has never been without. It's never been externally. It's always been internally. And the bag, the joke, the jig, the lie, the deception is to keep you distracted so you won't figure it out, so you won't go within, so you won't discover the truth that you are 666. 666 is the basis of all beings or all life forms, which is a carbon-based life form. 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. 666 is man. I can't make this shit up. I can't make it up. There's no coincidence that the earth tilts at 23.4 degrees from a 90-degree angle. That is 66.6 degrees. The circumference of the earth is 21,600 nautical miles, which is 6 by 6 by 600, which is 666. The curvature of the earth within 8 inches per mile, within an inch per mile, square miles, that is 0.666 feet for miles squared. We are supposedly traveling around the sun at 66,600 miles per hour, 666. All right. The Mason cross, the Mason symbol, let me put it that way, is showing you the sun rays that create the same geometric shapes as the Freemason compass. This is a sign of it right here. I'm showing you. I'm showing you right here. 33 degrees of United Nations. Look, 666 is man. The speed of light. 144,000 is what they say will go to heaven. 144,000 will go to heaven if you raise your frequency to 144,000 hertz, which most of us will probably never do because we won't go within to understand these concepts and to investigate it more fully. Instead, we'll listen to Looney Tune people keep telling us that we need to do this, do that, do this, and take us away from the true power which resides within all of us. I'm done. That's a wrap. I can't make it no plainer than that. The jig is up. If you discover how powerful you are as an individual, that what you have inside of you was a birthright given to you as a sentient being, and you don't know the power because you've been blinded by all this bullshit around you, then I don't know what else to tell you. I'm speaking in love. I'm speaking for a select few. You are the body of what you call Christ. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Christ is a title we all must achieve, and it's through the science of sacred secretion, the holy sciences, that you understand this information. The Book of Wisdom is an excellent book. The Holy Sciences by Sri Yukteswar is another excellent book. I'm trying to tell you, there's more to it than what people think. If you're only reading the text, whether it's the Quran, whether it's the King James issued version Bible, the Hebrew Bible, then you're only going to see it for what it is. You need to dig deeper. There's more hidden meanings and there's more hidden messages within that text. I hope this information has been beneficial to you all. Thank you for joining me. I apologize for being long-winded, but I had a lot of information to cover. When I come back again, I'm going to do another video on another chapter of my infamous book, The Reptilians, The Murder of Reality, Symbolism, the Hidden Symbolism of the Dragon. And then we're going to get into volume 2. Book 2 of Harry B. Joseph's The Revival of Wisdom, the Book of Wisdom. Thank you all, and I hope you all have an amazing day. Remember what I always say, be the change you want to see all around this earth dome, because it is up to you and I to make a positive change. Namaste.